Believe me, this isn't the reason we are here. This is a cat that has adopted me, and my neighbour just doesn't leave our gardens, and has kind of taken a shine to my shed. And when I'm working on my workbench, it keeps attacking me from underneath. You're alright, aren't you? You're a funny thing. And no, the reason we're here is because we've achieved our goal of 8 kilowatts worth of cells. There we go. 40 cells per slot. 7 S, and will be 160p by the time we've finished. 8 kilowatts worth of cells. That is what's that, 1,100 and something. Anyway, we've not just achieved 8 kilowatts, we've actually achieved 10 kilowatts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've actually achieved 10 kilowatts worth of cells, plus almost 2 spare sets should any of the packs go down in the future. Now, we're not just here to discuss cells and the cat, which won't leave me alone now because I'm being friendly to it. We are actually here to discuss how we're going to connect these cells together. So I've just got to get set up and try and get rid of this cat. I mean, it's not even hairless. I mean, come on. It's like a normal cat. I mean, it's not all that interesting, is it? You're going to leave me alone? Let me get on with this. No, you're not. Right, okay. If I go in for a cup of tea, it might bugger off. Right, so I'm quite happy with the 40 cell configuration. Obviously stacking them 7 tall and 4 wide, possibly 5 wide. But we might be able to mitigate that by actually using these 2 cell holders and putting them with 4s, joining them on the end and doing 48 cell per pack. If we do that, then we can comfortably say that we have 100 amp hour per parallel string. It's not something I've decided on yet. I think I'd prefer to keep them small because a small capacity system, if I lose say one 80 cell pack, then it's going to be half of my combined capacity, whereas if I lose one of these, I'm only taking out a quarter of my capacity. That's my sort of thinking behind it. So I'm going to keep the 40s. The thing is, how do we then join one pack to another? And I have over the last few months been collecting things from banggood.com, and I have an entire tray of these XT90 connectors, and working on the idea, rustling aside, that we're not going to be pulling more than sort of 30-40 amps from a pack, ideally less than 30. Defeated by a plastic wrapper. Almost. So working on the basis that we're not going to be putting more than 30 or 40 amps per pack, then this is going to be more than adequate to provide means of joining the cells together. Undecided which way I'm going to go with this. I mean, how I'm going to work them, because obviously if I have a connector like that or like that, then I either have to mount it or I have to have some sort of harness which will connect into that, push the cells in, connect the harness up. Not too concerned about that at the moment. What I'm more concerned about is the size of copper that will go into it. So I have here some 10mm squared cable. It's green and yellow, used for earthing and bonding within the UK. If you just had a single live or neutral core, then you'd expect it to be able to carry approximately 50 amps, depending on the situation. Say 50 to be safe, but that's AC, not DC. As I said in previous videos, I believe DC, if someone can point me in the right direction, can actually carry more, because some weird obscure article I found said that there's some sort of law where DC current goes through the entire cross-sectional area of the cable, whereas AC floats around the outside. But I've not actually made any inroads into finding out where that actually came from. So 10 square millimeter copper. It's not a gauge or anything, and it fits in there nicely. Can you see that? definitely fits in there nicely. So we could go the route of putting a 10mm copper bar down the middle, or splitting it either sides. With the thinking with the 10mm copper, I have a small supply. I don't have an endless supply. It is fairly cheap to purchase in the UK, especially through wholesalers. And since I'm in with them, this might be a route that I could go. Now, why am I stripping this off down here? Simply because what I was thinking of doing was, it might be 10mm, but I'm going to cut that one out. Why am I going to cut that one out? Because there's 7 strands of copper within this. And if I strip that down to 6 strands, 3 pairs, then what we could do is take this out like this. I'm only doing this roughly. And take them down the sides. This is probably not going to work out as well as how I did it earlier. I had to practice off camera, but I kind of lost it on the shed floor. I think the cat knocked it off. So obviously with the drill, what we could do is we could then twist these together and make a loop. So that would give us a 10mm conductor on the end, a nice stiff rigid connection. Bring this down a bit further, and down the end we might have to put either a solder joint or a crimp butt down the other end. The other thinking was, and it's quite interesting because lots of people are using twisted copper. I actually got some stranded 2.5 square millimeter copper like this, and again it has 7 strands. My hands are tatty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what people are doing is they're either twisting together their heavy gauge. Oh my god, the cat is back. Oh, leave me alone. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so what they're either doing is they're twisting it together like that to give you a better braid, or they're actually twisting 2 sets together to give you a tighter braid. So I'm just going to strip 2 ends like this. What they do is they're twisting it together. And what does that give you? That gives you 5 square millimeters copper. AC 2.5 on a circuit breaker within certain conditions, 20 amp. But in perfect conditions, you're looking at 27 amp per 2.5. So that's now 5 square millimeters, which is good because that fits in there nicely, right? Wrong one. Yeah, that fits in there nicely. So what happens if you twist 4 together? Because you can have 2 coming down this way and 2 coming back up that way into the connector. Well, it's not going to work quite so well because you're stranded. So this is one that I prepared earlier, and what I'll do is I'll cut in the clip now of what I did with the drill and the bit of copper. I've got loads of this old colours, black and red, 2.5 stranded. I was trying to think what I can do Powerwall wise that can include this amount of scrap, because it's going to be either be stripped or weighed in as copper anyway. So what can I do with it? So I just thought I'll get a couple of meters cut, and I'm just going to strip this off and we'll try and see how it winds together, because we're going to have 14 strands. Right, so I've stripped it, but you can see quite clearly that there's actually no twist in this copper. The really old stranded copper used to have a very pronounced twist once you stripped it, so it'd stay in one piece, whereas this just spreads out. So we've got 14 strands, giving us a total of 5mm there. I want to see how it performs when we tighten this twist up. So I've got this actually in the chuck of an old drill. So I haven't seen other people do this. I'm just going to wind it up and see. Oh dear, got to put that on the low setting, I think. Ooh, low setting. see how much it pulls in. Well, that is the result. It's only the first attempt, but it's actually come out quite well, I guess. There's only one strand that seems to be out of place the entire length of the thing, that strand there. And I can follow it through. But I would accept that as a buzz bar. I got one kink. I let go too soon without giving it a good pull. And it kinked there. But apart from that, it has performed fairly well. I guess, actually, that's 5. That is the equivalent of 5mm squared copper. 2.5 copper on its own in air can handle 27 on its own. Obviously, that doesn't include that does not factor in any kind of volt drop or anything like that. That's AC. People are making up these really nice kind of loops and things, and yeah, well, you get the basic idea. I'm not going to put too much effort into this. It's too late in the evening. So what people are doing is they're making up these basic, or actually quite nice looking loops. Basically, a ring comes in one side, goes out the other, and we're joined together at the ends with either the crimp eye or the. Have I got a crimp eye? No, I haven't got a crimp eye. Anyway, so you can put a nut and bolt through. And you end up with 2 ends, but the problem is when you twist 7 strands of copper with 7 strands of copper and then put the other end to it, you can now got 28 strands of copper. And that is not, though it's 10mm of square copper, you're not going to get that in there. It's impossible. Even if I straighten these strands out, straighten these strands out, it's just there's too much air there to get in. So unlike the 10 square millimeter copper, the 7 strands, you can get it in. You're not going to get that in. It's going to be way too fiddly. Which led me to thinking about solid copper. Solid copper is also available in 2.5. So here we have the stranded again, 7 strands, and here we have the solid. So if I get 4 of these together, can I get it in a XT90 connector? Oh, this is going to be fiddly. So I haven't actually tried twisting 2 bits of 2.5 solid copper together, probably because I hate doing it. Problem is, they no longer do stranded 2.5 twin and earth. It's now solid only, which was good for house rewires because you get it around certain tight corners. But now it's all solid, and if you twist stranded 2.5 copper too tightly, it snaps. So I've got 3 in so far. We focused. Oh, the video's probably been out of focus from the start, but hey, spark life. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it on camera. I was hoping to get this done on camera in one take. But oh, there we go. I've got 4 strands, or 4 single strands of 2.5 square millimeter cable in there. Obviously there won't be this installation, they'll be bare. And I did have a go earlier just to prove that I could do it 2 loops. So that might be possible. So depending on what you think, I might go and try and find some solid scrap copper in 2.5 square millimeter and twist 2 strands together and see what it looks like. I'm kind of talking myself out of it now. I've got tons of stranded 2.5 scrap copper, and that's what led me to do a couple of trials with the drill. But obviously this doesn't fit in the XT90s. Let me know what you think. I mean, we've got tons of cells, tons of ideas. I need your ideas to mix with my ideas to make this the best system in the world. Well, obviously not the best system in the world, but you know, make this more practical. But yeah, what I'm thinking is XT90s, 30 amp loads, 5 square millimeter copper around the outside because that fits perfectly in there, and I'm leaning towards the 2.5 solid copper. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I have absolutely no idea how long this video is. You've had cats, you had cells, me, and yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment, rate, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers.